How consciousness works, the event continues. Honestly, I wish this event had happened to someone who was more educated in matters of consciousness, meditation, centering of oneself than myself at the time. Before this event, I was just your average 11 years old, and higher states of consciousness, ET was not even a blip on my radar. Why contact us? As I brought up in my last post, sharing consciousness with another individual, there are no secrets. The sensation of this joint consciousness was like walking down a sidewalk with someone, you're completely aware of their presence while the two of you are walking. In this state of shared consciousness, one is also aware of bigger picture intentions, motives, emotions, and so forth with the individuals you're sharing consciousness with. As it was suggested, I keep observing my surroundings as the car made its way down the highway. I immediately knew that these individuals were in our solar system working on a job or task involving our sun and maybe one of the gas giants. I did not know specifics, but I did know that the task was very arduous for them, and upon completing the tasks they wanted to swing by our planet before exiting our solar system. After working hard at whatever it was that these individuals were doing, the Earth stopover was recreational and anthropological in nature. I felt that the entire reason for this Earth contact was simply a trip down memory lane, of sorts for them. One important aspect to these individuals which is extremely important for the reader to understand, is that the use of universal consciousness itself is how these individuals interact with one another as a totally normal way of existence. Also, it is important for the reader to understand that the anthropological nature of the contact event is a door that works both ways. I was also able to conduct, really by default, an anthropological exploration of these individuals. The event gets intense. While observing the metropolitan area, the road, the other automobiles, I got the knowledge that our existence is extremely primitive to them by eons in comparison. However, I also sensed their excitement, and they equally let it be known that they, again, eons ago, had a very similar civilization, roads, transportation, construction. One takeaway of this event that really surprised me, was that as advanced as these beings truly are, they still found things to get excited about. I quite honestly found that to be refreshing. As I looked at the rear end of the car directly in front of us, I was instructed to read the license plate off the car. Beyond remote viewing. At the beginning of this shared consciousness event with the off-planet individuals who were working in our solar system, I said that the state of shared consciousness in a fraction of a second became very much normal. I believe the license plate reading request will make understanding the off-world individuals better, and how shared consciousness works on a basic communication level. I said that immediately I clearly understood that shared consciousness with another beings was the communication of knowing what is already known or experienced by the other individuals. It works both ways, as you will clearly see. When I was asked to read the license plate on the car in front of our car, my consciousness was immediately 1.5 feet away from the other car's license plate, in order to read it clearly, as we were all traveling down the highway. It was 1974, and it wasn't until years later that I had some sort of language label for what this was. It was at least 20 years later I heard about this thing called remote viewing. However, upon studying remote viewing, the remote viewers I have read about said that remote viewing is more visionary in nature with no sensation of physically being in the space they are viewing. The level of consciousness, or, better yet, consciousness migration I had experienced is not only having the sensation of being physically in the location your consciousness is remotely at, it is the sensation of physically being in two places at one instance. What I realized is that our consciousness is very much capable of fragmenting off to different locations at the very same instant. I say instance and not time because, as I will explain later, time works very different in different consciousness locations. This event was an exploration of time itself, and what the spirit actually is, I have to admit. Reading a license plate opens a door for all of us. As stated earlier, the entire purpose of these individuals' visit was purely anthropological. I also stated that while submerged in pure universal consciousness, the anthropological study went both ways by default. These beings, I came to understand, live their entire existence fully submerged in universal consciousness, connected with everything and each other all the time. They were once like us, with their conscience completely individualized. After years of contemplation and study, I would describe their constant connection to one another less Borg-like, and much more in line with an Aspen Grove level of existence. The individual experience is precious and very rare for them. Once one of them has an experience, they all instantly experience that as known experience and/or knowledge. So, these individuals don't simply look out the window of their spaceship, so to speak, to check out what's going on down there. They want the individual's perspective on what's going on down here. As soon as I read the license plate, these individuals instantly knew and fully understood our number and letter system. This is because I at 11 years old fully understood our numerical system and alphabet when simply reading the license plate. Again, shared consciousness, the immediate understanding of known and experienced knowledge between individuals.